Hey guys, this is Loony and welcome to another episode of my Loony hardcore adventure. Today we are starting the episode with some great news because I got a very useful tip from a friend that helped me to improve my audio quality a lot. It's not perfect, but I think it is much better than it used to be, so that will make the videos a lot more enjoyable for you. So today we are going to make quite some progress with this ocean monument. Because we did raid it last time, we got rid of the Elder Guardians, which means we have no mining fatigue. We found some sponges, and we are going to use those to dry out the inside of the entire monument. Later we will also do the outside, but for now we just want to have a base here where it's safe. And to do that, we're going to remove all the water, knock out the walls, and it is time for all these fishes to get out and look for a new home, because this is where we are gonna live. But as much as I like to be a tough guy here and tell them to just get lost, this is not how we're gonna go about it. We are actually gonna be very careful here, because the last thing we want to happen is to end up in a tiny room full of guardians bullying us around, because it could very well be the end of the adventure. And the more water we are removing here, the more guardians will be concentrated in the water that is left. Which means that if we are not careful, the chance is getting bigger and bigger for us to make a mistake and end up in the water in a situation where we can't get out, we can't break line of sight, and we're just gonna get beamed to death by a bunch of guardians. And when I realized that I was having trouble with guardians jumping up and down around the hallways, I actually started closing all entrances to the main treasure room. We can look into the room here, and this is where most of the guardians were located. So I decided to drain everything else, remove everything else, and then come up with a plan as to how I would clear this room. Eventually, I figured the only sensible option was to go in from the top, to use my sponges to remove the top layers of waters and slowly force the guardians down into shallow water. And if they would try to beam me, I could just walk back to the edge and use the edge of the box to break line of sight. And eventually, if I would have the guardians in the shallow water, they didn't have so much room to move about, and I could easily pick them off one by one with my bow. That was the plan. And it worked. Eventually. Because I had a lot more trouble here than I was expecting. I started running out of sponges and I was getting bullied by the guardians anyway. So enjoy me struggling with a bunch of spiky fish. But when I finally did manage to clear the room, it was a very satisfying feeling because I've been spending quite a bit of time getting rid of all the water and the guardians in here. But now that I finally have, we've cleared a big hurdle. This was one of the most dangerous parts of this operation. And we are one big step closer to building a base inside an ocean monument right in the beginning of our hardcore adventure. We continued to clear the entire inside of the monument, and once that was done, it was time to set up some easy access. So we are building a square box here in the center on the floor that will catch the water stream that is about to come down, because I'm gonna open up the top of the monument right now. We measured out the exact locations of this box by looking straight up, and since your neck can't turn further than straight up in Minecraft, you are always standing on the block that is right beneath the block that you're looking up. So we pillared our way up, broke the ceiling, and started creating a box. And this box is going to be quite wide. It's going to have water right below it, and it is going to be our landing tube. This is where we're going to fly in and out of the monument for the near future when we need to go out and get things. When I was building this box, the guardians were clearly giving me some trouble again, but this time it went over much smoother, because whereas in the treasure room there were lots of guardians everywhere and I had no place to hide because I would always be surrounded, here the guardians can't really gang up on me, so I'm just swimming around corners and placing blocks in between me and guardians to prevent them from getting any hits in. And if they hit me once, it doesn't really matter. The whole danger is when a lot of guardians hit me at the same time. And I managed to prevent that here, so it went pretty smooth. Construction of the tube was done. We got out our sponges again and started draining the water from in here. And then when we got down back inside of the monument, something interesting had happened, because either a few guardians spawned inside the water just below us, or they managed to swim down when we were making the tube, but we had a few spiky fish bouncing around inside of our empty monument. After we took care of our pest control obligations, it was time to work on infrastructure. So we set up a nether portal in our now empty monument that links up and make sure that we can travel quickly to our enderman grinder for experience, or to our old house if we need to get things from there. The thing with nether portals though, do not forget to link them up or make a mistake. So we went through our nether portal and we ended up here, which is not where we wanted to be. We're on an island just next to our monument. So we tried again and got it right this time. Then we went back to the house, picked up some diamonds and some sticks to make a bunch of shovels. Because now that we have the monument secured, it is time to think about what we're gonna do next. And the first thing we're gonna do is convert this ocean monument into both a base and a guardian farm, because I want to have my main storage in there for now, but I also want lots and lots of aquatic blocks. And to do this, we have to drain out the entire area both above and beneath the monument, which is going to be quite a job. So we are getting a ton of enchanted shovels. I want to have like 10 maybe, and then go out to the desert, swing our shovels around and start placing sand to drain out the monument. And the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna make strips 4 wide, take sponges and drain them 1 strip at a time. Now that the nether portals are linked up, traveling between places is a matter of seconds, and I would highly recommend this to do in your own world. If you're gonna link up your nether portals, it's gonna take some effort. You have to write things down, you have to get out a calculator, make sure that you got the numbers right. But once you do, everything is gonna be so much quicker and it's gonna be so much easier to move about. Nether transport is one of the greatest time savers in the early game. So we are flying around a little bit now to look for one specific thing. I have a bunch of shulkers, a bunch of shovels and a chest, so we are getting sand and we need lots of it. But finding ice is also not too bad. I don't really need ice right now for the farm. I'm gonna skip it in the design because it doesn't make much of a difference. But for later setups where we need to transport items at high speeds, it's really gonna help us out so much. So finding ice now is a really good thing, and it's also close. But after we kept flying for a little while longer, we eventually got to the place that we really needed to be. We found ourselves a desert. Once we got there, we started swinging our shovels around like a madman because we need so much sand. Guys, that is it for now. We're gonna end the episode at the shovel swinging. Next episode, we're gonna start placing sand, and this is gonna take a while, but I promise you, it's gonna be well worth it when we finally get the design for the Guardian Farm up and running. Thank you so much for watching another episode, and I'll see you next time.